and spread kindness throughout your kingdom. Clothe us in humility that allows us to let go of our pride and focus on following your purpose for our lives. Give us patience to avoid missing your many blessings, and above all else, guide us in putting forth every effort to live a life of love. Amen. So let us all sing Will You Let Me Be Your Servant, which will be on the screens. It's also number 307 in Love and Grace. And you guys sing it. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for bringing us together to worship and praise you. As we come in prayer, we ask you to open our minds to the message that you're about to receive. Let us reflect on the words we hear and find ways to apply them to our own lives. Help us to better learn forgiveness, to spread kindness, to practice patience, and to remain humble as we go about our days. Your love binds together in perfect harmony, Lord. Let that love be our guiding factor in our lives. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
The scripture today is Colossians chapter 3, verses 12 to 15. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other, just as the Lord has forgiven you. So you also must forgive. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed you are called in the one body, and be thankful. So, chosen by God for this new life of love, dress in the wardrobe God picked out for you: compassion, kindness, humility, quiet strength, and discipline. Be even-tempered, content with second place, quick to forgive an offense. Forgive as quickly and completely as the Master forgave you, and regardless of what else you put on, wear love. It's your basic, all-purpose garment. Never be without it. Let the peace of Christ keep you in tune with each other and step with each other, and cultivate thankfulness. Let the word of Christ, the message, have the run of the house. Give it plenty of room in your lives. Instruct and direct one another using good common sense. And sing. Sing your hearts out to God. Let every detail in your lives, words, actions, whatever, be done in the name of the Master, Jesus, thanking God, the Father, every step of the way. At the beginning of chapter 3 in Paul's letter to the church in Colossae, Paul claims that our life is now hidden in Christ. It is a funny sounding and perhaps confusing claim, but what I think Paul is trying to introduce is that there is nothing physiological that separates Christians from anyone else. Christians cannot be singled out through the use of an x-ray machine, cardiograph, or any medical instrument. No physical or medical test will ever be able to predict whether or not someone is a follower of Christ. Therefore, Paul claims that our life is hidden in Christ. However, by verse 12, Paul is inviting us to put on the garments that suit God's chosen people. We are invited to dress in clothing that openly demonstrates what we are within. We are not meant to keep this life hidden away. As we read Paul's invitation to be clothed in compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience, a temptation is to think that Paul is simply calling us to imitate Christ. While Christ has set us an example, the putting on of these holy garments is also about revealing the hidden reality of Christ within us, making something hidden invisible. Therefore, yes, we are called to follow the example of Jesus and show compassion and kindness to one another, to be humble and patient, to offer forgiveness, and to lead a life of love. Yet, if we rely on our own strength and our own ability to follow in Jesus' footsteps, we will stumble, for none of us are God. This is why Paul calls us to let the peace of Christ rule in our hearts, to recognize that Christ dwells and empowers us from within. This is how we, as Christians, are empowered to show compassion and kindness in the midst of anger and selfishness. This is how we are empowered to offer a way of peace and forgiveness in the midst of violence and the desire to settle the score. This is how we are empowered to remain a community of faith, even when we are in conflict or disagree with one another. The call of Paul is not just to follow in Jesus' footsteps, but to recognize the God of compassion, kindness, forgiveness, and love that is within each one. When reading this passage, we view the call to be clothed in compassion, kindness, and etc. as an individual faith mandate, which it is certainly important to self-reflect. It is also important for churches to consider how they are collectively are called to put on the garments of Christ as a body of believers. Paul's words here are being addressed to the church, so it is appropriate for us to consider how we are offering compassion, forgiveness, and love. Denton Church of the Brethren wears these clothes.
Compassion, preparing meals for the homeless.
Kindness, donating money to buy blankets for people in distress.
Humility, helping to care for our earth and picking up trash alive.
Love, gleaning produce from the fields for food, banks, and to reduce waste, loving our neighbors and our earth.
Our next hymn is Come Let Us All Unite to Sing. It's number 12 in your books. The words can be found on the screen.
bind us together with your love, setting an example for us to follow. Your grace and peace unifies us to be your hands and feet in this world. As we go throughout our week, may we be reminded that you set the example that we should be clothed in kindness, gentleness, patience, and compassion as we go throughout our daily lives and encounter people each day. Be with us today, this week, and always. In your holy and loving name we pray. Amen.